Welcome to the Adrian Tan Show. This is my podcast where I have deep conversations with the people who are enabling organizations to become ready for the future of work. My guests include a mindfulness coach, the folks behind Singapore's most popular investment app, and many more. They all have one thing in common, and that is to level up your organizations through your people. Have you tried nasi lemak popcorn? Or maybe chili crab popcorn? Well, those are the ones that I just tried recently as I got a box from the Kettle Gourmet. They are a Singapore-based popcorn manufacturer and distributor that serves fresh, hand-baked popcorn in traditional and unique local flavours. They also do kaya butter toast, chicken floss, as well as a traditional one like salted caramel and chocolate. Founded in 2017 by founder and CEO Zac Chua, the Kettle Gourmet is halal certified and uses high-quality ingredients, non-GMO natural corn and no trans fat. Inspired by his late father, a venture capitalist, Zac always knew he wanted to have his own business. So he launched his business in 2017 after finishing his degree in business management from SMU, when he smelled the delicious and overbearing aroma of nasi lemak that someone had smuggled into the theatre while he was enjoying his popcorn. Today, the company has reached a daily sale volume of 1,000 popcorn bags and accrued over 300 partners and clients. Hi, Zac. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. And thank you so much for sending over the popcorns. My kids and I really love it. Although I must say, when I first opened the package and I see this nasi lemak popcorn staring at me, I was a bit taken aback. It was
Yeah.
very hard for me to imagine popcorn and nasi lemak. But having said that, I must say it tasted fantastic. And so does the rest, the caramel, the chili crab. But let's start off by helping the audience to understand more about what you do and what are you trying to bring to the market with your company, the Kettle Gourmet.
Sure. All right. So I'm Zac. I'm the founder of the Kettle Gourmet. So what we're doing is we're actually a gourmet popcorn distributor and manufacturer. So what makes us different really is our flavors lah. So I think the as what Adrian just mentioned, I think we're the only ones in the market out there with what I call the crazy Asian dishes out there where you would never expect it to be infused into popcorn. So we're non-GMO. We have no trans fat, and we use only quality ingredients. So in terms of the what I bring to the market really is I want people to really have a very unique experience of snacking. Yeah, I think the way we snack have changed over the years, and I think one thing we bring to the table is really the way we snack. So I thought of why not infuse the flavored dish into a popcorn. Yeah.
And is this the original idea when you first started in 2017? And how did popcorn come into play? Because when it comes to snacking, of course, there's a variety of stuff that we can consider. Why popcorn specifically? Is there a backstory behind it?
Yeah, it's actually a very, very interesting and unique story. I would say it's an accidental startup that took off. So I was in my final year in SMU. So I was doing a lot of events. And then after that, we started testing out popcorn just for fun. So we went to an event, we just gave out free samples. And then the response was actually surprisingly good. So we tried creating those landing pages where it's enough to transact. So on that very night after the event, right, we actually closed a few people who actually ordered online. So that gave us the motivation. They were like, hey, actually we are onto something. This can actually work. So subsequently the orders started coming in. And so why popcorn is definitely because it was an accidental startup. But the thing that kept us going was, sooner or later, right, as we were having a lot of fun, corporates started reaching out to us. They'll be like, hey, I want you to supply my pantry, for one whole year. So our first ever client, I still remember, was TripAdvisor. Back then, it was the day and age where, the Google pantry became more hipster, and, where they really, it was an in thing for to have a hipster workspace. So that's where they started procuring our popcorns on a subscription basis. So we were like, hey, actually, this can work because they actually prepay the 1 year's supply worth of popcorn up front. So it gave us the cash flow and confidence to actually keep producing. And long story short, here we are. We grew to 11 employees now. 10 of them are 10 in Malaysia, 11 in Singapore. So it's been quite an amazing journey.
Wow, it is an amazing journey and an amazing purchase order to buy
Mm.
1 year worth of popcorn. I
Yeah.
can't imagine how many trucks that is going to fill up. And it's really interesting to look into the B2B space. My personal experience has been very much in B2B.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I do identify is it is easier to sell to B2B lah, because, for them, 1 year supply of popcorn actually is spare change lah. But
Yeah.
try to sell the same amount of popcorn to B2C, wow, you do not need how many people.
Correct. Not to
So
mention the logistical nightmare that will be involved with B2C.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So
Mm.
and to your idea of creating all this unique popcorn, because I would imagine for anyone to jump straight in, of course, try and tested flavor lah, the standard butter and all that. And of course, we are seeing a lot more flavors in terms of popcorns, but
Mm.
still to go into the extent of becoming so adventurous on nasi lemak, chili crab, chicken floss,
Oh,
and kaya butter toast, that is really something else. How
okay.
did that come along? I'm certain it's not
Yeah.
something that you started from day one.
Correct, correct. So actually, yeah, we're only selling the very basic caramel popcorn. So the inspiration for this wacky flavors came about when I was actually in a cinema one day, enjoying popcorn. Then when you go and watch a movie, everyone will smuggle everything inside, right? So one lady actually smuggled nasi lemak inside. so so when I was eating the popcorn, right, the smell was like overpowering. Then to the point where I'm like, what if I make infuse nasi lemak into this popcorn, because every bite I was munching on the popcorn, right, it really the overbearing aroma of nasi lemak just overpowered the entire makan session. So end up I felt like I was eating nasi lemak. So actually that was the start of the inspiration.
That's really interesting, and really kudos to the lady who brought in nasi lemak to a cinema to eat. Lah. I had always joked, with my friends when I was much younger that we should tapao char kway teow in to eat, just to make fun of it. So it's an interesting concept. But having said that, it must have also become a fan's favorite for it to be a consistent item. So
Mm.
among all this flavor right now, which one is the top seller? Which one is, so for someone who is keen to try your popcorn, which one
Mm.
will you ask them to give it a go first?
Okay, it would depend if you are a sweet person or savory person. If you are a sweet person, I recommend kaya butter. If you are savory, it's nasi lemak. Mm.
Right, I see. And I don't understand as well. Right now, you are moving towards more of the subscription model as well as the gift box, and I believe that is targeted more at the corporate side. And you mentioned earlier on your first customer, Trade Advisor,
Mm.
and how many more companies are engaging or subscribing to your popcorn right now in
Okay, so
Singapore?
today we have about almost 300 B2Bs. So we service like Google Office, Facebook Office, a lot of hotels, a lot of restaurants. Yeah, so it's easy to sell because everyone understands what is popcorn. So and I'm not selling a service, ma. So for a product, right, you just samples, lor. So I give you samples, you try. If you like it, then okay lah, we can speak. If not, then it's okay. So our sales journey was actually quite smooth as well.
And you mentioned you have about 10 employees in Malaysia. So are
Mm.
you also selling into Malaysia? Which other countries are you in right now?
So we're actually exporting, and in the midst, we're actually also finding more exporters, or rather overseas importers. So we recently shipped one container to Indonesia. Manila, Philippines is also waiting, pending confirmation. We're also doing with China, but recently China, they came out with this import law for food. So there's a bit of a hiccup here and there, but I think we will overcome it. Mm.
So, what's the key thing that you've learned from this whole journey and being an accidental entrepreneur, getting into the F&B industry? Are there any
Mm.
things any preconceived notion that was demolished during your 4 5 years journey as an entrepreneur?
Sure. So the first thing is entrepreneurship is totally different from what we think. Like I was in SMU, I studied a lot of business. A lot of it was theory. It was useful, yes, but mainly it's all about networking and application. It's who you know, not what you know. I would say that's the first point. Second thing is I learned to really just ask. Like people are actually more willing to help than you think. So along the way, I mean, there will be obstacles. I have no F&B background. I pure business student, and then to start an F&B is really overwhelming at first lah. But if as you go along your journey, you will meet people at the same stage as you. You can help each other, learn together, learn from each other's mistakes, and then it's actually a very fun and meaningful journey. Mm.
But has it been smooth sailing for you since day one? I would imagine as a new brand, as a
Mm.
new startup, it must have been quite tough, and there
Yeah.
might be some stumbling block, some
Definitely.
some pitfalls. Could we talk
Mm.
about that?
Sure.
How did you recover from them? And importantly, what do you learn from them?
Sure. Okay, the start is always the hardest. Like when you really start on day one, you don't know what to do. So many fires to fight. So in terms of challenges I face, right? Let me see how I can structure it. Okay, let's divide it into people, product, and process. Okay, so for people, right, number one is always finding the right partner. Like at the start, is always the journey will seem so bright with your partner, but along the way, because of misalignment of vision and values, you definitely will clash here and there. So my first advice will be to find a partner that can complement your skill set. That's the ultimate foundation. Second one will be employees under people. Employees, you need to hire the right one lah. And people management is always a nightmare. I think for every business. So you will slowly find someone who can fit into your culture. People will come and go, that's for sure. And eventually you will settle with a team lah. And it's never smooth sailing in terms of people management. Things will happen here and there, but I think it's how you overcome it lah. So next will be product. Product, for me, I started with zero F&B. So a lot of it was common sense at the start lah. We use a lot of common sense to maneuver our way around. Like our first POS system was an Excel sheet I created. So everything we just use logic to make sure that it gets done lah. So especially for the delivery system, everything, so long as it serves its purpose, is fine lah. And last will be process. So similarly, we had no experience as well. This is a disadvantage of being a fresh grad lah, by the way. You should work first, but it's okay. So along the way, there are people who help me lah. They're saying, you should do this, you should link up with this courier service, you should do this, you should do that. So ultimately, we somehow or another scrape our way through, and here we are.
And well, you mentioned that of course as a fresh grad, there's a lot of shortcomings. But I would say also because of that, you do not have the baggage, lah.
Mm,
If you have been in F&B for the longest time, and someone were to come to you, hey, start a popcorn business, leh, you might overthink it and not even have
yeah.
began to to even start off. So you mentioned today, right now you have quite a number of customers, and a daily sales volume of 1,000 popcorn bags. This would be I would imagine primarily in Singapore.
Yes, mainly in Singapore.
And let's talk about this gift box thing, as well as the upcoming stuff that you have in mind. Let's talk about the gift box first. How do
Mm.
you actually come across this idea of using a gift box concept?
Because when we ask our customers, why are you buying our popcorn? They're like, oh, cute ma. But other than that, I want to give. So a lot of our customers actually buy it, right, not for themselves, but they buy it to give to others. So the funniest scene was one of our customers when she gave our gift box as a Christmas present. Her friend, for gift exchange, her friend also bought the same gift box. so so it's a very humbling experience for us lah. We learn to, popcorn, we don't just treat it like a snack. So we are slowly targeting the gift market, we're targeting the customization market, and also the subscription.
And right now, for companies or for even people who is keen to get your popcorn, do you have any pop up card on your shop, or is it purely done online?
So we during COVID, we actually entered with Fair Price Finest, all 28 outlets. So you can get them there. Alternatively, we are also in several cafes, like your Coma Cafe. We are also in this, Singapore has this newest supermarket where you can just take the thing and just walk out. It's called Pick and Go. It's available in all three outlets at Pick and Go. We are also in several cafes, and other than that, the rest will be online. Online, where we have, other than our e-commerce, right, we're on Shopee. We are also on GrabFood, if you stay near the east. We're on Food Panda as well. And we're also on the latest Air Asia. They recently entered a delivery service.
Ah, interesting. I stay in the east, by the way, so I will
Ah,
definitely check it out on the app.
yes.
And onto the taste of
Mm,
your popcorn. Obviously, to infuse nasi lemak or chili crab into popcorn, I
mm,
would imagine it would definitely require a lot of flavoring. How
mm.
do you actually circumvent some of the concerns about, artificial flavoring lah, not healthy lah, that kind of stuff?
Okay, I think there are two points. One is healthy. For us, to be honest, we don't qualify for the healthy pyramid logo because we're not exactly the healthiest lah. I mean, then again, it's popcorn, right? But we try to position ourselves as a less sweet because we during the R&D process, we try and put less sugar to make ourselves less sweet because we feel that some of our competitors, they are too sweet out there. But in terms of artificial flavoring, I don't think it's an issue. In fact, I think it's quite remarkable that nowadays some of the artificial flavorings taste nicer than the original dish. So we actually use that to our advantage. So when we put it in, let's say we put chili crab into popcorn, right? We actually bring about a few solutions that I would otherwise not be able to happen. So first would be what I call the portability. So example, right? You can't really bring a chili crab. You can't tapao a chili crab from Singapore to overseas, right? That's where we come in. We put it in a popcorn, and then you can ship it overseas. Number two will be the awareness of flavor. So when we were doing R&D, we're coming up with this pulu hitam, which is like our black glutinous rice. We was actually surprised that when we do the survey, right, all the younger generation, they've never heard of it. So the second point that we bring will be to bring aware of the flavors that they wouldn't otherwise have known. The third will be the challenge, like the flexibility and innovation of food. We're trying to be different. We're always trying to be different and innovate ourselves. Yeah,
You mentioned about pulut hitam. That will be one of the upcoming flavors
correct.
for or addition to your lineup. Any
Yeah.
other flavors that you are experimenting with that audience
Mm.
can look forward to?
We're actually experimenting with fish head curry as well. Yeah, so
Fish head curry also can.
it can. So I think our chefs are having a lot of fun. Every day, all they do is just make different flavors of popcorn.
May I put in a suggestion?
Sure.
Can you consider a bakwa flavored
Oh, actually, we
popcorn?
actually did. 2 years ago, we actually went viral on a lot of news because of our bakwa popcorn. This was before we were halal certified, lah. So back then, we were having a lot of fun. So we,
I
we
see.
even had Bailey's popcorn. Fun fact: we actually have inside got alcohol.
Oh, that's interesting. But those are more of a one-off thing, lah.
Yeah, correct. But then we were still having a lot of fun, lah. We're still not serious yet. So it was like a fun project, lah. So now,
Right.
yeah, now we have to make it very commercialized. Yeah, but it's still fun. It's still fun.
Understood. I brought up bakwan because my friend used to travel to South Africa a lot, and
Mm.
interestingly, the people over there love bakwan, and he has to
Oh,
smuggle them in.
is
And
it?
you mentioned, you cannot bring in chili crab, but you can bring in chili crab flavored popcorn.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, so that got me thinking. So
Mm.
other than the new flavor, I understand there's also a new partnership that you are working on. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, okay. So we're actually entering the licensing game. So this inspiration came about. You know the Secret Lab chairs, right?
Yes,
to,
I do.
to me, I mean, they are more than just a chair company. They are more into the licensing. That's where they make like example Game of Thrones chairs, Dota chairs, or your esports chairs. That's what makes it appealing for users to buy it. So having said that, right, the inspiration, if Secret Lab can do Pokemon chairs, for example, can we do Pokemon popcorn? So we're actually partnering with Pokemon for some of our packaging. We're going to launch a new series of packaging quite soon. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. But it's Pokemon packaging, and in terms of the flavor?
Okay, so the flavors we are still in discussion whether to launch a new series or will it be the same, because ultimately it's for mainly targeted at tourists as well. We will be in the Pokemon Center at Changi Jewel. So some of them, the Angmos, they cannot take like spicy. So we may need to plan properly. Yeah.
Understand. And as a business owners, I'm very certain over the past year, even until today, because of COVID-19, it has been quite tough lah.
Mm.
For many businesses, especially those in the F&B. Well, how has that affected your business during this period of time?
Oh, actually, we are very, very lucky. We're one of the lucky few that actually our sales doubled during COVID. So when everyone started moving from home, right, we've always been this has always been our space. We've always been a digital first business, so we never pay any rent. There's always very, very lean lah. So there's no overheads, and we've always been very aggressive with digital marketing. So when everyone started working from home, our B2B sales dropped lah. Those pantry ones, which is very normal and expected. We refocus all our resources on B2C, which is the Facebook ads. So ironically, it actually moved faster. Yeah. So we were very, very lucky. That's why I also took the time to rebrand. So our old packaging was the orange color bags, and because during COVID, everything was quite slow. So we just use it. Took the opportunity to rebrand. Therefore, that explains the snack monsters that you see now.
Right. My family is one of those that really bought a lot of snacks during phase one of circuit
Yeah,
breaker. And,
correct.
and everyone is pulling the same trick, advertising in your face on Instagram, getting influencer to
Mm.
share about stuff, and we just bought so
Yes.
many things over the
Live stream
time.
also, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing before we end off, as a experienced entrepreneur, what's your advice for people out there who might be keen to start something, especially in the F&B space? What's your advice to young entrepreneur out there?
I would say just start. Don't think so much. Analysis before paralysis, right? So just whack. Like you never know all the good things that can happen. The upside is yours. The downside is very limited. At most you lose everything you started with. And I think once you are right, the rest is history already. So just start.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your advice. And last thing, for people who is keen to learn more about Kettle Gourmet, where can they go to?
You can go to www.thekettlegourmet.com to check us out. I actually have a 10% discount for your listeners. Just code ZAC10, ZAC10. When you check out, you enjoy 10%. Yeah.
Thank you so much. The link as well as the promo code will be in the show notes. And Zac, thank you again for making time today. Lovely conversation with you. And I wish all the success in your journey with the Kettle Gourmet.
Thank you so much for having me, Adrian. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. You can refer to the show notes for links to more information about our guests and their businesses. If you enjoyed this podcast, it would be helpful to give a review on iTunes or follow me on Spotify. If you're using Overcast, please hit the star button under the episode. That will help get this episode and podcast out to more people who may find it useful. I'll see you in the next episode of The Adrian Tan Show.